I passed by you this morning and noticed you wearing the color of shame. Though we live in a mask era, your eye lining the floor cannot conceal how it clothed your countenance. It was more than written on your face. The language of your body told a story of defeat. Feet full of regret, wishing to backtrack to before they raced into sin. Shoulders bowed, bearing the guilt of giving in one last time with hands that willingly handed over all hope. And a heart beat till there was no fight left while a war raged in the arena of your mind. You reminded me of David's brothers, who everyone assumed were engaged in battle, but the truth was they were already married to fear. And in that moment, I wanted to tell you that your freedom from this sin is barricaded behind smoke screens of fear just on the other side of the battlefield. That though it is veiled, your victory is still available. But who severed the nerve of your courage, paralyzed your faith, convinced you that your conquest was unconquerable, caused you to settle, build a home in a lot of vacant threats as if your father is not the land's lord? Who told you that you were forgiven, but forgot to tell you that you were free? If I could have caught your gaze, I would have told you to stop going through life blind, feeling the braille of doubt, and place those fingers in the nail-pierced hands that open blind eyes. Lift those eyes and see the brilliance of your King, who brilliantly baffled the adversary by becoming a man. The same King whose breath built landscapes became a man to befriend and break bread with the spiritually broken. Brought brothers and daughters back to life only for his life to be sold for 30 pieces of silver. Jesus. Deserted by friends, beaten till unrecognizable to kin, hung by limbs, pierced, blood and water poured from skin. As breath exited him, it is finished, Jesus said. It is finished, Satan thought. Thought he concluded the story on the author of life with a death sentence. When he placed a period in front of the tomb but turned the page, Jesus jumped from the page, proving to be more than just a man on a page when he rose from that grave after 3 whole days. Faith in him, it leaves your old nature back in that grave. It puts sin's power back in that grave, so you are not obliged to anything back in that grave. He assured your victory the day he rose from that grave. Hallelujah! Why are you still living like the dead in the hand of the living God? Christian, in Christ, when you fight, you win. And the only time you don't is when you don't fight. It is time to stop lying to yourself as if you have really been fighting this sin. The skin of your knees too smooth, pride too tough. The valleys on your face have never been flooded with tears of contrition. Where are your battle scars? Or at least scratches from resistance. They are non-existent. Your indifference to your deliverance has made you complicit to your own demise. But there is hope. Take them eyes, lift them vertical, set them as star pupils to study the author of the galaxies until they have absorbed everything under the sun like May weather. Pick up your courage. Confront what you have been avoiding, your Pacquiao like Mayweather. And I wish I could promise you a Mike Tyson type fight, you know, a one-hitter quitter, but when you've allowed this sin to be your God for so long, this may better represent the battle between Apollo and Rocky. Bloody, bruised but breathing, heart still beating, meaning there is more fight left in you. It is time to fight. If I thought it would help awaken a warrior within, I'd change your name to something like David or Elijah or Samson, history's great warriors, or even Sting, Goldberg, or the ultimate warrior, anything to remind you of what's within. But you've already been given a name that should cause courage to erupt from your heart. A name worth fighting till death to hold on to. He has called you son, accepted you in your darkest of days, paid your ransom, all to call you son. This sin that you have adopted as your own is out to make you a bastard. Don't let it happen. Fight. Fight for love. Fight for sonship. And son, fix your eyes on Jesus, the author and finisher of your faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, scorning its shame, and is seated at the right hand of the Father. Consider him who endured such opposition so that you won't grow weary or faint-hearted. And finally, Be strong in the Lord and the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God so that you'll be able to stand against the schemes of the evil one. And no longer say, one day I'll get free. But understand, in Christ you are free. So choose today. Choose today.
Jesus is for everybody. Poor, got my eyes on the rich. Looking at the trap boys and the life of a prince. What they talking about?